Hello everybody, Eric again. Like and subscribe. Here we go. Let's read about Awaken My Love. Awaken My Love is the third studio album by the American actor and singer Donald Glover under his stage name Childish Gambino. It was released by Glass Note Records on December 2nd, 2016. Its fusion and post-chillic soul, funk, and R&B influences was considered Glover's first artistic departure from the fundamentally hip-hop style of his prior work. The album was produced by Glover and his longtime collaborator, Ludwig Göransson. Awaken My Love received generally positive reviews from critics and debuted at number 5 on the US Billboard 200. The album was supported by 3 singles, Me and Your Mama, Redbone, and Terrified. It received Grammy Award nominations for Album of the Year and Best Urban Contemporary Album at the 2018 Grammy Awards. The single Redbone also earned nominations for Record of the Year, Best R&B Song, and won the Grammy Awards for Best Traditional R&B Performance. Background. On June 17, 2016, after a hiatus from social media, Glover tweeted Burls.earth, a link to download his new app. The app itself placed the user in outer space, looking at a small blue planet, while a clock counted down to 0. The app then had the user crash down from space, placing them on a map that was located on Joshua Tree, California. The app then showed the dates of his upcoming performances in Joshua Tree, where the user could also purchase tickets. The concert festival was to debut the album and gave the audience the full album experience. From September 3rd to 5th, nearly 3 months before the release of his album, Glover had 3 concert performances at Joshua Tree to debut the album. Glover wore glow-in-the-dark paint on his braids and a pink and yellow skirt, with his bandmates wearing similar attire. He performed 11 songs during the concert, with minimal rapping, mainly featuring a funk/jazz style. Glover modified his Power Barrels app upon its release so that users could watch the success of his first lead single, Me and Your Mama, at Joshua Tree through a fun virtual reality lens. Cover artwork. The cover of Awaken My Love features a photo by New York City-based creative director Abra Ak, in which model Gianna Atento wears a beaded headdress and designed by Laura Rice of WXYZ Jewelry. Prior to the album's release, the cover artwork was included as an Easter egg in the episode Juneteenth of Glover's FX series, Atlanta. The cover artwork is also a nod to the cover of Funkadelic's 1971 album, Magot Brain. For years, Atento has accused Ak and his team of avoiding legal contact to actually receive payment for her contribution to the project, and that she is not alone in the fight. We received low pay, they promised residuals, but we never received anything. After years of lies and silence, then finding out statute of limitation complications. It's been an exhausting, emotional, and overall sad thing to deal with. So it took so much for me, especially the fact that we all worked on it with so much love and being proud to represent black artists. All of my lawyers' communications have been ignored by Childish Gambino and his team. Hashtag bittersweet. Singles. Me and Your Mama was released as the album's lead single on Beats One Radio in the iTunes Store on November 10th, 2016. While Redbone was released a week later, premiering on Animax Hottest Record on BBC Radio 1. On September 19, 2017, Terrified was sent to Urban Contemporary Radio as the album's 3rd single. Critical reception. Awaken My Love was met with generally positive reviews at Metacritic, which assigns a monetized rating out of 100 to reviews from professional publications. The album received an average score of 77 based on 25 reviews. Aggregator Any Dissent Music gave it 7.4 out of 10 based on their assessment of the critical consensus. Mozzie Reeves of Rolling Stone wrote that Awaken My Love is an enthralling trip into the land of funk, while Dan Bogosian from the AV Club wrote, "His child is Gabeno, settling with new friends, a virtuoso, multi-instrumentalist, always ready to keep the world an arm's length away from knowing what he's thinking. He is D'Angelo, a soul god fighting against his first image with all-time great music. No. He is Donald Glover, a man who can perform and write comedy, act in drama, and drop a truly wonderful album on short notice with all the influences and instructions spelled out. Perry Katastakis of the FS View and Florida Flambeau wrote that with each successive album, Childish Gambino has exhibited phenomenal growth, but no more than on his latest release. Unflinchingly ambitious and boldly different, Awaken My Love calls back the sounds and themes of the 1970s funkadelic movement to provide a fully original, emotional, and immersive musical experience. With the Guardians' Graham Ford adding only the limitations of his voice occasionally let him down, he doesn't quite have the range to nail Rakin's more unsocious vocal lines. Still, it's a minor grip when there's so much here to enjoy. John Perales of the New York Times said, "It's at once a homage and a parody, equally aware of that era's excesses and its glories, of the way that the most memorable 1970s R&B merged sensuality, activism, humor, toughness, outlandishness, futurism, saw roots, wow eccentricity, and utopian community spirit. That's an extremely high bar, but at its best, Awaken My Love recalls many of those virtues. Tam Sendra of All Music said, Awaken My Love is a stone-cold blast from beginning to end." Matthew Strauss of Pitchfork said, "There are times, however, when their noting feels more like a mimicry than anything else. Maybe he will figure out how to smuggle Donald Glover's heart into Childish Gambino's brain eventually, but if he hasn't figured out what he wants out of Childish Gambino yet, it's increasingly rewarding watching him try." Scottish Gleister of XXL said, "Childish Gambino gets definite props for pushing the envelope and refusing to operate within any genre confinements on this refreshing 49-minute trip through the funkadelic 1970s. While these blurred lines make his album a little hard to follow, Awaken My Love proves his versatility as a rapper turning over a new leaf." Kitty Empire of The Observer said, "Throughout Glover's genre, fluency is unimpeachable. The only minor drawback is the over-mannered air of some of these period places, where there could be more straight-up abandoned, as on the possessive Me and Your Mama." Vice generally describes the album as pure funkadelic display. Critic Robert Christgau regarded the album as a seriously overrated piece of romantic peep funk, retro that owes its Grammy nomination to Atlanta. Year-end lists. Select year-end rankings of Awaken My Love. Publication list: Wink, Web, Clash Albums of the Year 2016-22. Exclaim's Top 10 Soul and R&B Albums Best of 2017 7. Pigeons and Planes Best Albums of 2016 43. Variants 50 Best Albums of 2016. Industrial Awards. Awards and nominations for Awaken My Love. Year, Ceremony, Category, Result, Web, 2018 Grammy Awards. Album of the Year, Best Urban Contemporary Album, Nominated. Commercial Performance. Awaken My Love debuted at number 5 on the US Billboard 200 with 101,000 album equivalent units, marking the third highest debut of the week. It was the fourth best-selling album of the week, selling 72,000 copies according to Nielsen SoundScan. The album was also streamed 41.5 million times in the first week. It is Glover's highest charting album. As of December 28, 2016, the album has sold 151,000 album equivalent units with 100,000 in physical album sales. On September 27, 2018, the album was certified platinum by the Recording Industry Association of America, RIAA, for combined sales, streaming, and track sales equivalent of 1 million units in the United States. Track listing. All lyrics written by Donald Glover, except Zombies by Glover and Ludwig Göransson. All music composed and produced by Glover and Göransson, except where noted. Awaken My Love, track listing, number, title, music, producers, length. 1. Me and Your Mama, Glover, Göransson, Zach Ray, 6 minutes and 19 seconds. 2. Have Some Love, Glover, Chris Hartz, Sam Sugarman, Glover, Göransson, 3 minutes and 44 seconds. 3. Boogeyman, 3 minutes and 36 seconds. 4. Zombies, Glover, Göransson, Hartz, Wei Suan, 4 minutes and 41 seconds. 5. Wyatt, Glover, George Clinton, Edward, Glover, Göransson, 2 minutes and 5 seconds. 6. George Clinton, Edward Hazel, Clarence and Jean Haskin. 6. Redbone, Glover, Göransson, William Earl Collins, Clinton, Gary Cooper, 5 minutes and 26 seconds. 7. California, 2 minutes and 45 seconds. 8. Terrified, 4 minutes and 15 seconds. 9. Baby Boy, 6 minutes and 22 seconds. 10. The Night Me and Your Mama Beat. Glover, Göransson, Gary Clark Jr., Glover, Göransson, Clark Jr., 3 minutes and 34 seconds. 11. Stand Tall, 6 minutes and 10 seconds. Total length, 48 minutes and 57 seconds. Notes. Signifies an additional producer. Simple credits. Notes. Signifies an additional producer. Simple credits. Why it contains a sample of Good to an Airhole by Funkadelic. Personnel. Credits adapted from the album's liner notes. Musicians. Donald Glover, vocals on all tracks, except 10. Percussion, tracks 1 to 4, 7, 8. Drums, 6. Block and Spell, 6, 8, 10. Bottles, 7. Ludwig Göransson, bass, 1 to 3, 6, 7, 9 to 11. Guitar, 1, 3, 4, 6 to 8, 11. Synths, 1, 2, 6. Rhodes, 3, 6, 11. Wurlitzer, 6, 7, 9. Drum programming, 3, 8. Mellotron, 3. Synth bass and harpsichord, 4. Stellar banjo, 6. B3 organ, percussion and bottles, 7. Synth programming and background vocals, 8. Chris Hartz, drums, 1, 2, 4, 7, 9. Bass guitar and Rhodes, 4. Percussion, 7. Wei Suan, guitar, 1, 4, 7, 8, 9. Synth FX and piano, 4. Brent Jones and the Best Life Singers, choir, 1, 2, 4, 10, 11. Lynette Williams, B3 organ, 1, 2, 9. Clarinet, 9. Zach Ray, Moog synthesizer, 1, 5, 8. B3 organ, 1, 8. Per Gunnar Johnson, Rhodes, 1, 8. Piano, 1. Thomas Drayton, bass guitar, 1, 8. Black Party, drum programming, 1. Sam Sugarman, guitar, 2. Corey Fox, additional vocals, 4. Sophia Hoops, background vocals, 5. J.D. McQuarrie, voice soloist, 8. Gary Clark Jr., guitar, 10. Julie Burkert and Steve Kujala, flute, 11. Dan Higgins and Phil O'Connor, clarinet, 11. Thomas Parrish, woodwind arrangement, 11. Production. Donald Glover, production. Ludwig Göransson, production. All exact, 2510. Additional production, 25. Mixing, 311. Additional mixing, 467. Gary Clark Jr., production, 10. Ruben Rivera, recording. Wiley Mackin, recording, mixing, 1 to 7, 9 to 11. Bernie Grundman, mastering. John Armstrong, organ, keyboard, synths, and V-drums, recording, 1. Brian Kerrigan, choir recording. Chris Fogel, woodwind recording, 11. Peter Water, woodwind contracting, 11. Andrew Dawson, mixing, 8. Design. Abra Ak, photograph and art direction. Sukana Wusi, co-creative direction and styling. WXYZ, jewelry design. Sherry Pinto, makeup. Brad Ogabena, lighting. Managerial. Donald Glover, executive production. Ludwig Göransson, executive production. Charts. Weekly charts. Chart performance for Awaken My Love. Chart 2016 peak position. Australian albums. ARIA 9. Belgian albums. Ultra Top Flanders 76. Canadian albums. Billboard 7. Dutch albums. Album Top 100 33. French albums. SNEP 188. Irish albums. IRMA 28. New Zealand albums. RMNZ 21. Norwegian albums. VG Lista 31. Scottish albums. Official charts 49. Swedish albums. Sverige 54. Swiss albums. Schweizer. Hit Parade 89. UK albums. Official charts 34. UK R&B albums. Official charts 4. US Billboard 200 5. US Top R&B/Hip Hop Albums. Billboard 2. Year-end charts. 2017 year-end chart performance for Awaken My Love. Chart 2017 position. Canadian albums. Billboard 50. US Billboard 200 32. US Top R&B/Hip Hop Albums. Billboard 20. 2022 year-end chart performance for Awaken My Love. Chart 2022 position. Icelandic albums. Talestin 84. Lithuanian albums. AGATA 86. US Billboard 200 162. Certifications for Awaken My Love. Region certification. Certified unit/sales. Canada, Music Canada, Platinum 80,000. Denmark, IFPI, Denmark, Platinum 20,000. France, SNEP, Gold 50,000. United Kingdom, BPI, Gold 100,000. United States, RIAA, Platinum 1 million. Sales, streaming figures based on certification alone. See also, list of Billboard #1 R&B/Hip Hop albums of 2016. Bye for now.